All righty, welcome back in. And this is Zach Gelb Show, coast to coast on the Infinity Sports Network. Let's go out to the guest line right now and welcome in a man that will one day be a Pro Football Hall of Famer. He's played his entire career with the New Orleans Saints, and that's Cam Jordan. He joins us today on behalf of Old Spice School of Swagger, aiming to increase graduation rates in underserved communities through mentorship. Visit oldspice.com/school of swagger to learn more. And he is Cam Jordan. Cam, appreciate the time. Wait, come on. That's not the first time you heard that you'll be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame one day. I saw you made a face when I was introducing you.
I mean, you can't count your chickens before they hatch. In my mind, I still got some years of football left to play and hopefully pursue greatness in terms of individual success. But the ultimate success is the teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work, and you always want to have that come together to go after playoffs, to go after a Super Bowl, to create that last piece of, I say, legacy, but not really. You say, I feel like when it comes to winning Super Bowls, that's also like a quarterback stat, right?
Yeah.
Like you hold quarterbacks towards did they win a Super Bowl or not, versus defensive players. You hold defensive ends to how many sacks did he get, when there's all other facets that come to play. Was he able to actually stop the run? Was he a force to be reckoned with every play, or did he take plays off? Not here to judge any one person, but I say the way that I play football is the way that I take to my off-field endeavors. Everything I do is, full blast. So I'm able to rest my hat on the hard work effort that goes into each and every play, each and every drive, each and every season, each and every community event. So whether I'm on the field trying to hit people, or I'm off the field trying to help the next generation, it's with everything that I am. So it's easy to be a part of the community. It's easy to be part of the Saints when your ability to give everything and try and get after everything with everything that you have is just second nature. So it's awesome to be able to partner up with, Old Spice and support their initiative, their School of Swagger, which encourages fans to become mentors for the next generation and making a difference in young students' lives, which, we all try and do. We become better people, we become a better community. I think it's going to take more of us. So you can always find out more information at www.oldspice.com/School of Swagger.
So tell me a little bit more about the work that you're doing right now with Old Spice.
Man, that's just it. I think in this culmination of being a better person, of being a mentor, of my own foundation, Cam Jordan Foundation, where I think we're launching a comic at the end of this month, which is dope. Yeah, which is a dope concept, but it's about the next generation. It's about these kids in high school trying to graduate, trying to set their best foot in the best direction, be a better version of themselves. Where the School of Swagger initiative is pairing them with mentors, helping the next generation out, and you can do that by just by logging in and learning about it.
Cam Jordan here with us on behalf of Old Spice. So I know that you just said recently that you want to play for a few more years. So retirement hasn't crossed your mind yet? Because, I just turned 30 and people now look and say, oh, like you're a lot older. You're 35 in the NFL world. That's always at the end of every season. Retirement comes up. So you clearly expect to be playing football next year is what you're saying.
I love hitting people. I wish I'm waiting to get it out of my system, but I can't. I think that of course, retirement is closer rather than farther away. But I still love the idea of getting up, working out, and being able to take to a locker room and be around teammates and having hopefully a successful season. Things didn't end. Definitely didn't end the way that I wanted to this past year in terms of personal and team wise. So there's a lot of vengeance in my blood for this upcoming season. I'm already calling this upcoming season into fruition as a winning season for the New Orleans Saints. And I'm just like, as long as I'm part of it, as long as I'm able to help and be on the field, I feel like that I can be a force to be reckoned with. So I don't have plans of retiring anytime soon.
And the goal, like you said, is to be back at the Saints. I know there's 1 year left on the contract. You never know if the organization elects to move on, but you would be disappointed if you got a call from the Saints and said, hey, you're going to be going somewhere else.
Hey, I had to allude to it multiple times during the season that, soldiers are not don't have input on where they fight. They're just told to fight. Warriors don't worry about what's around them. They just go for the battle ahead. And that's what we'll always take the focus. Now, as a Saints organization, we have to figure out what's our head coach look like, what's our DC look like, and then we'll go from there. But it's always black and gold till probably to the death of me.
Well, there was a long time we thought Sean Payton wouldn't be going anywhere else. And then he retired, and then he quickly came back and had a very successful season with the Broncos. I know he just wrapped up his second year there. Is that bizarre to you, or is it just, hey, that's the business of football, and you're immune to it at this point when you see Sean coaching with another team and going to the playoffs elsewhere?
Yeah, that's the nature of the business. I mean, when Sean left the Saints, you knew he wasn't retired. Like Sean in football makes too much sense. Sean Payton and football, it's hand in hand. When he even that year he took off, he was talking about football, broadcasting. So you knew he was coming back.
Did it annoy you, though, when he elected to come back? Because I feel, as always, he left the Saints because he didn't have a quarterback. We could say, oh, he needed to recharge the batteries. But to me, he left because you guys didn't have a quarterback anymore.
I mean, yeah, when you go so many years with having one of the greatest to ever lace him up in Drew Brees, maybe he should have signed up to the Old Spice School of Swagger initiative to mentor a quarterback for us before he left. I mean, maybe I missed something, but like when you have greatness, you might want to take that that Green Bay Packers route where you have one sitting in the chamber. Like you got Brett Favre, and then you got Aaron Rodgers take over from Aaron Rodgers. You now have the heir apparent in Jordan Love. So I wish we had the heir apparent to Drew Brees, which since he's been down, we've had 8 quarterbacks start for us or something like that. It was a stat that I heard this year, and I was like, oh, dang.
Yeah.
It's
Happens real quick.
Hard to find success without consistency. And you wish that, like Derek Carr this last 2 years, when he's been available, he's been stellar.
Cam Jordan here with us. So I remember, I think it was last year or 2 years ago, I was at the Super Bowl, and we always know whenever you call it quits that you're going to be a media star. But they had you as like an in-game analyst in the stadium. So let's put the analyst hat on for a little bit. You went up against Jaden Daniels this year. I know you had 2 sacks. You guys lost by 1 as a team. But what were the impressions going up against Jaden Daniels with him playing now an NFC Championship game this weekend?
I wouldn't say we lost by 1. I would say we were close to winning by 1. We went for a 2-point conversion at the end of that game to seal it, and we just fell just shy. But that was pretty much the story of this season, was usually within about a score for differential for a lot of those games that we lost. And that's the NFL. It's a game of inches. You have to be able to overcome those to find success. And, that's why I'm quite hopeful for this upcoming year when we have the right head coach and we have the right DC and we have the right OC and we have all our players available. We can be an electric team. And that's why I'm already looking forward to this upcoming season. But when you think about Jaden Daniels and you think about Jalen Hurts and the electric style of gameplay Jaden Daniels has shown this year, he's no longer a rookie. You probably throw that rookie label off of him after 3 or 4 games this year. The way that he extends plays with his feet, the way that he throws, I mean, he's everybody. He wasn't compare him to anybody, and I'm not going to. You'd say, you've seen it before in Lamar, and that's where we're going to leave it at. You have to be able to try and eliminate his feet and make him stay in the pocket, and at the same time, he can hurt you there.
Yeah, and you know what? I'll go as far to say it already. Like, we know Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, whatever order you want, those are 4 of the 5 best quarterbacks in the league. I think if you're then looking for a 5th name, it has to be Jaden Daniels already. Like, to me, he's looking like a top 5 quarterback right now.
I won't disagree, but I will never agree because you don't put that kind of expectations on rookies. It's easy in my mind. It's easier to take the league by storm for a year rather than a body of work, and that's where you see the differential. You're going to see guys take huge leaps in the second year or regress the second year. So I always leave the first 2 or 3 years to be like, all right, he's a good player, and after 3 years, be like, now where is he and how is he doing?
Let me get to the other matchup, the AFC Championship game, Cam Jordan. Geez, you got the Bills, you got the Chiefs. Here we go again. The big question is this the Bills' time? Do you think they'll get the job done?
I'd like to say yes, and at the same time, Pat Mahomes. I don't. For the world that wants the Bills to win, which I love their defensive line, the way AJ Panessa, Greg Rousseau, you've got Von Miller, of course, Ed Oliver. That defensive line looks like it'd be fun to be part of. And but then you go over and say George Karlaftis, Charles Omenihu,
Chris
Chris
Jones?
Jones, of course. Yeah, Chris Jones, of course.
Yeah.
Leading the charge. That's a formidable defensive line in general. So for me, I'm just going to be stuck on watching the defensive lines go after. For the world, they think that this is their one chance to capture it, and maybe it is. But for Pat Mahomes, this is his seventh AFC championship. Man, I'm not gonna put it past Mahomes to pull one out with Travis Kelce and the likes.
By the way, since we have you here and we're talking defensive players, right? We all know what Chris Jones is, George Karlaftis, Bobby Wagner, right? When you go through Von Miller, some of the great players playing this week on the defense side of the ball. How about Jalen Carter? I was in Philly last week and I saw him just wreck, and I mean wreck that game up against the Rams. He's really taken a big step talking about a younger guy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you talk about Sweat, Smith, and then the big Georgia boys in the middle. Jalen Carter is a monster, and we knew that at the college level. So the fact that he translates to the league, not surprising, and also he's got a lot of go to him. He's got a lot of grit, and he's got a lot of speed and explosiveness at that interior position.
What is this like for you? Last thing I'll ask you, Cam Jordan, what is it like for you right now? You've been through this before, right? The coach unfortunately gets let go. You had an interim this year. Now you're sitting back like the rest of us. You hear all these rumors and all these names being mentioned for the Saints job. You clearly plan to be in the organization next year playing for them, but not knowing who your coach is that difficult right now?
For the first time in my career, I'd look at the landscape and say, I don't know who the head coach is going to be. I don't know, where the Saints will go, but I do know that the organization led by Mrs. Benson, with Mickey Loomis at helm, we want the best for the future. And in that ray of hope, there's always going to be encouraging signs where, you'd say had our roster been fully healthy the entire year, we would be sitting at a different position entirely. But with the availability, they said the best ability is availability. With availability, we'd be looking at things a little bit differently. I do believe that our team has the pieces to be special. Now we need all those pieces to be healthy, but our team has, whether it be Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, Alvin Kamara, Taysom Hill, Jawan Johnson, MVS, the way he came in, Marquez Valdez Scantling, the way he came in. If we can retain him and add those pieces in, with the offensive line led by Eric McCoy and anchored by young Taliese Fuaga, shout out to Big Tally, a rookie offensive lineman that came in and played his butt off this year. We have those pieces to be great on offense. It's just needing them for 17 games, not 6 out of the 17 or 7 out of the 17, whatever they saw together.
He is Cam Jordan. He joins us today on behalf of Old Spice School of Swagger, aiming to increase graduation rates in underserved communities through mentorship. Visit oldspice.com/School of Swagger to learn more. Cam, good luck, good health. Appreciate whatever you have next in store for you.
Hey, thank you so much. Appreciate it. You have a blessed one.